Hey guys, stocks on a Sunday this time. Feeling a bit better today. Didn't feel too good yesterday. Seems I've got a strong investing stomach, but a weak regular stomach. So, a bit ironic, but yeah, feeling better. So, portfolio's down as expected. Wider sort of market taking a fair downturn this week. So, I'm down about 9,000, which about 4%, considering a bulk of this is crypto miners. Of the downturn, I think it's about 5,000 or so. Didn't think that was too bad, really. So I know what I'm getting myself into with those. Some of the gold and silver's been holding up pretty well. Pan American silver's up for the week. So, yeah, back to thinking sort of gold and silver are the slightly better hedge for inflation and sort of rough times. Crypto seems to be going down with the NASDAQ stocks and the sort of, high growth side. So it's not mirroring the sort of digital gold that people were saying it was. So, yeah, this lot's down about 4,000. The Chinese tech sort of not performing too bad, but it is down a little. So, yeah, not horrendous for the week. The Trading212 side hasn't really moved that much, down about 1,000. Some of that is the ARC buy, down 42% now. Cathy Wood's, sort of all of Cathy Wood's stuff's getting hit quite a bit. So that's down. Not all that bothered about that. The REITs not doing too bad, a couple of percent down, so they're outperforming the market. Argo, yeah, to be expected, 8.5% down. Hive is worse. Bitcoin ETP, yeah, so it's all because of Bitcoin down, basically. Sentiment, as I say, some of the gold miners doing reasonably well, but that's been sort of on a downtrend for a fair while, so that gain doesn't make a huge difference. Digital Realty, pretty much flat, so that's done quite well. First Majestic, as I say, slightly up for the week. Yeah, the REITs, as I say, sort of outperforming slightly, but still down. Sylvania, not too bad, holding above £1. So that's slightly bucking the trend. And yeah, the rest of the REITs are all pretty much down. But most of the moves have been in the invest account. So down about 3,500. So that's to be expected. Most of the sort of American stuff is 2 to 6% down, really. Airtel Africa, though, plus 2%, not too bad. Good to have some sort of buck in the trend in there. Yeah, so the tech stocks, Alphabet and Apple, really not doing well. Interest rate rises and sort of tapering on the way. Whether they'll actually go through is another guess. I might cover that a bit more in the crypto video. Apple, 6%. Yeah, so that's to be expected. They were very, very high PE. Not sure if this is the start of something bigger, but we'll see. So, yeah, most of these are sort of down, as I say, about 3 to 6%. Things like Broadcom getting hit a bit harder. Not exactly huge valuations, but it's still tech, so it just gets lumped in with the rest of sort of tech and semiconductors and that sort of thing. No particular news from what I'd seen. eBay sort of again at the top end of the 2 to 6%. Glencore still holding up pretty well. Commodities super cycle potentially. It's what people are talking about, but I don't know. I think it's just could be high prices for now. Himax getting absolutely whacked, which isn't too bad because I did want to sort of increase this sort of at $10 really, or under if possible. So yeah, that's got really whacked. Semiconductors again, and it's a small cap, and yeah, people see it as risky from what I can see. Intel, yeah, 6%. As I say, the Chinese tech's been sort of doing reasonably well, and so the emerging markets not too bad, pretty much flat for the week. That does help. Japan down slightly. Lennar down 11.8%. So yeah, this is taking quite a hit. Not sure if this is probably interest rates and tapering and everything, but also obviously the sort of American houses are timber frame largely, and lumber prices have been sort of trickling up quite a bit recently. Remember the sort of Cathy Woods and people like that saying, you know, it was coming down and it was just a short-term peak for sort of 6 months. Got all the way down to sort of $400-500 again. And yeah, I think it's up to about $1,200 now. So yeah, their costs are going up a fair bit. Maybe with the wider sort of the wider market, they may not be able to increase prices in line with that. So less profit and so on. Plus, obviously, the market downturn anyway. But I can kind of see why they might be underperforming. Lockheed Martin stays pretty much flat. Potential war. So they always do quite well. Micron, this seems crazy overdone, to be honest. Sort of reading the news, seems to be the chips are basically all sold out for this year, but they're worried what's going to happen after that, after the chip shortage. Suddenly sort of everyone comes online and sort of more factories are getting built. Micron are building more factories. Maybe they're thinking it's a supply glut after the chip shortage, but seems a bit overblown to me. I'd probably be maybe adding a little bit more, pretty much back down to break even on that note. Nintendo bucking the trend, 5.7% up. I'm not sure if this is partly to do with the Microsoft news. Microsoft had bought Activision Blizzard, sort of the pretty much the biggest individual game developer outside of sort of the big Sonys and Microsoft. But yeah, can't see how this affects Nintendo really. Sony are down on the news. Nintendo obviously sort of their own walled garden. They have the console and the games, and they wouldn't really be interested in too many of Activision Blizzard's games. And yeah, we'll see later on Sony taking a dip, but yeah, Nintendo not doing too bad. Porsche down with the market. Process holding up fairly well. Same with Renault. Rio up slightly, but trickled back down again. The it looks like the lithium mine is pretty much dead in the water. Or the new one in Serbia, I think they're looking into other avenues to get into it. Still sort of looking to buy a lithium company from the looks of it. But yeah, would have been better to have the big project in Serbia. Shell, sort of, yeah, just correcting slightly back from this fair old rise over the last month. Samsung, yeah, some of these others sort of pretty similar to the market really. So yeah, Sony 10.5% down on sort of this Microsoft news from the looks of it. I mean, you know, the PlayStation is like 20-25% of Sony's revenue from the looks of it. So seems a little bit overdone. Sort of 10% on that news, but yeah, I don't sort of think they're going to be quite as affected as people think. I know Microsoft are looking to sort of push Game Pass and yeah, go more towards the cloud and sort of have Game Pass on your phone and your tablet and that sort of thing. They're not really focusing on Xbox all that much, but sort of in the near future, I can't really see what this changes. Sort of all of the games pretty much that Microsoft would be having on Game Pass, they already had on the consoles anyway. So if you just wanted to buy a game, you're not gaining anything out of this deal, really. The sort of Blizzard games aren't on consoles anyway, and they have their own sort of Battle.net walled garden. So yeah, the sort of a lot of people say, you know, they prefer Sony because the Xbox doesn't really have any decent exclusives, and they're not really gaining anything from this deal, from what I can see. I can't see them making Call of Duties and, you know, your sort of big games exclusive. So yeah, maybe in the sort of longer term, 2-3 years down the line, this might sort of make a decent change, but you don't know what Sony are going to do in that time. And as I say, it's sort of a maybe a quarter of Sony's revenue, and the rest is sort of on the movie side, music side, the consumer electronics and everything else. So for a quarter of the business to get hit, I know obviously it makes a lot of the profit, but yeah, we'll see with that. So yeah, things like small caps get hit, Stellantis gets hit fairly well. TSMC come back down again. That sort of went on it seems like it was just a temporary bump, but still very happy with them. They got the monopoly, they're spending a fortune on more development, so yeah, pretty happy with them. Tesla, no surprise, that's come down really. That sort of would be first one to go with the high valuations coming down. Turtle Beach, does seem like this was maybe a mistake. 13.5% down. Earnings reports sort of coming right down. I think revenue's up, it seems, but sort of profit is down. Partly inflation, I guess, partly sort of shortages. They're having to pay more for components and they're not really able to pass the cost on. There is a fair bit of competition. I mean, I've been looking at Corsair Gaming and people like that. So yeah, we'll need to sort of review this one again, but doesn't seem too bad still. Only a small position as well. Tyson down with the market. Vale actually up slightly, similar to Rio. Beatrice down, and Volkswagen sort of not doing too bad really, 2.6%. So yeah, bit of a rough week, same as everyone else. But as I say, if I didn't have the crypto miners, this would probably be down about sort of 1.5%. So the diversification does help, and we'll see where this sort of tapering and interest rates go. So yeah, see you soon. Like and subscribe.